Good evening. We're here at Business Wisdom Wednesday, sponsored by the Greater Washington Urban League and DoorDash. Brother Atwater,
Yeah.
you and your family, your wife, your partner,
Yeah.
have been making assurance not only affordable, but you've been bringing it to a point of not just being a need, but something that we actually make it a part of our life, right?
Of course.
So, for the few people who don't know, let's roll it back. Tell us who you are, the name of your business, and let's get into the why.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Anthony Atwater. The name of my business is Legendary Fit Financial. The FIT stands for Family Integrity Triumph. We understand that family is the cornerstone of every community. We will always operate in the highest level of integrity, and we believe that you can triumph over any and everything.
All right, so I know we still got some talking in the room, but what you just said was with the right financial structure, with the right family, you can triumph over everything, right?
Of course.
So I know Brother Xavier, when you think about what this brother is doing, right? He has started a business, and can you take us back to that beginning? How old is the business, and tell us how it's formed?
Yeah, of course, of course. So, Legendary Fit Financial, my wife and I, we've been in this business for a little over 2.5 years.
That's all?
Yeah.
You are doing it 2.5 years?
Yeah. Well, when the why is strong enough, the how won't matter.
Ooh,
And
I love that.
and so both of us were excited about an opportunity to one be able to build a business together. Every other business we've built outside of this, we built independently.
Okay.
So this one gave us the ability to build a business together, but also one that made a greater impact in our community.
Did y'all hear that? His business is not just about the money, but he's also, so Xavier, when you think about it, Xavier, when you think about it, the impact that his business is making, so it's not just the money, but that let's unpack that impact. When you talk about impact, what does that mean when it relates to what you are doing and the impact it's having on the community?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. It comes up quite often in our community. Too many times, the parents and the children have the same floor.
Oh,
Meaning that dash of time when the parent was here, the only thing that they left behind was their last name to the child.
wow.
There was no legacy being left behind. No one is talking to them about the power and value of life insurance.
Okay.
The tax advantages that it brings, as well as the wealth that it puts back into the community. So very often we go and we live as if we don't have an end date. And we all do, even though we don't know that date.
Yeah.
And then it happens and everybody's surprised. Oh, well, they were going to get life insurance tomorrow.
Oh, Okay.
And here it is today. Not only does the family have to grieve,
yeah.
but they have to be embarrassed as well.
Yeah, that happens a lot, right? And so I want people in the room to understand that's not something that's something that you could prevent, right? So as you all come a little closer, I want y'all to hear what this brother is talking about. Because so often when that unexpected happens, it should be expected, right? If we're planning right, we know death is going to happen.
Right.
And so if we pre-plan for that transition and understanding the impact of that transition, if you plan right, it could be a blessing in so many ways, right?
Of course.
Some of y'all gonna look at me like kind of crazy, but the truth is, proper planning prevents poor anything, right?
For sure.
So let's talk about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I had said in that prior statement, the children and the parents have the same floor because the parents lived their entire life and there was nothing that they left behind. We worked just to make it, just to get by. We got out and we got the jobs and they paid us just enough so that we didn't quit, but never enough money so we could live in the same neighborhood as our CEO or our supervisor. And so with that, we were constantly on that hamster's wheel, always chasing the proverbial financial freedom carrot
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was never there for us.
Just enough to get back to work.
Yeah. Just enough so you can come swipe the card
back.
tomorrow.
Now, when you and your wife started this business, there was an aha moment. There was you identified the need, right? But how did the business start, brother?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we were fortunate enough. I'll go back a little bit. Back in 2022, there was a series of several months where it had a lot of loss.
Yes.
Had some people I grew up with, had my best friend pass away, and it just kind of hit me like, man, like we're getting older. And, and we're not old, but like what happens if something happens to me? So the question came up, what happens to the primary care provider when the primary care provider can no longer provide?
Yeah.
And so I was looking at that. That is such a hole, a void that's left behind with that. And so when I evaluated that, I was like, man, one, I need more life insurance. And so, I had a little bit at work, but I'm an entrepreneur at heart. At some point, I'm walking away from that job and running the business. So I was like, okay, at that point, I'll be older than I am today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I wanted to make sure that I got into entrepreneurship. So I sat down with someone who showed me the ability to not only have life insurance, but to also have the ability to be mentored in entrepreneurship while serving the community.
I love that. See, a lot of times people think you have to create the business yourself. So you were able to first saw the need within you.
Absolutely.
And then through your research, you identify a company that not only would get you a policy that would take care of your family and your community, but you saw it as a pathway to entrepreneurship, giving you a blueprint.
Absolutely.
Now, okay, because a lot of times people think that blueprint is not something for them. How did you know that blueprint, that business opportunity was for you and your wife?
Absolutely. Great question. So the first thing was it gave us the ability to work together.
Okay.
Because we hadn't worked together before. And then the second thing was it gave me the ability to build with my children.
Okay.
So it was something because the other businesses I did, I couldn't just transfer them over to them. It was going to be quite a bit of a learning curve because I had a learning curve in those. I didn't have mentorship in those. So we only have two types of experience. The first one is personal. Personal is very expensive and painful.
Okay, because it's all yourself, right?
Right,
it's on your
right.
back and your shoulders.
Absolutely. But the second one is borrowed.
Ooh.
And borrowed is explosive and exponential.
Okay.
It will catapult you decades ahead. And so this opportunity gave us the ability for borrowed experience.
Got it.
Because I could sit down, I could be mentored by someone who had much more experience in the industry than I did, as well as being able to share their experiences, the ones that were challenges and the ones that were successes.
Okay.
And so that was the second piece. And then the third thing was it gave me something that I could very easily transfer over to them because my wife and I...
Them meaning the children.
Right.
That's your legacy piece.
Absolutely. Because from day one, I own my book of business.
Oh.
So I tell my son, my oldest son, he's 21, he's licensed and appointed in this business.
Okay.
So I tell him his responsibility is his children. Him, and he doesn't have any.
Okay, but they're coming, right?
Oh yeah, someday. Yeah, someday. So
take his time.
Take your time. Take your time.
Okay.
But so my wife and our responsibility is for us to live well, do the things we're gonna do now, and I'm building for my great grandchildren and beyond.
Yes. Okay.
We're building in 2025
Yes.
for people who may never meet us.
Woo. Think about that. And that's what the core business, when you think about, should be.
Absolutely.
Because, see, we do take care of our customers, our consumers,
Right.
but we do that to take care of our family.
Absolutely.
And not just our family that we hug and see now, but the family that's coming.
Absolutely.
And that's that generational wealth. That a lot of times when we're starting our own business from the start on our own shoulders, we never get off to a point where we can think about that legacy play, right?
For sure.
You've done that because of that two-part model. One, you got a experienced individual who you're modeling, who's
For sure.
teaching you, right? And then you have a business system
Right.
that allows you to scale much faster.
Absolutely.
For those people who are still thinking about, how do I get started? Can you answer that question? Because we're going to turn the mic open to see if people in the room want to share and ask questions also. How do we get started, brother?
Absolutely. So it depends on what route you want to go, but both of them start the same. We sit down and we have a conversation. If you're a person that's on social media, I'm on Instagram at Mr. Legacy Builder 45. That's MR, the word legacy, Legacy Builder 45. TikTok is the same. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook as Anthony Atwater. You can find me there. And I'm more than happy to sit down and have a conversation with you. Those who are in the room, we can sit down and we can chat about that. But we sit down and we evaluate where you are and where do you want to be.
Got it.
Because it's not a one size fit
Not a
all.
one size fit all.
Yeah.
So I'm asking people who are in the room, come a little closer, right? Because this mic is hot. Business Wisdom Wizards is set up for us to get to know each other, and part of getting to know you is recording the who you are. And so today, we're being blessed here with my brother who has been at Business Wisdom Wednesday, right?
Absolutely.
What has it meant? Because you've been back a couple of times. How has this Business Wisdom Wednesday helped you in your desire to move and find the right customers and the right people to network with?
Absolutely. It has been absolutely phenomenal. There has not been one time that I've been at Business Wisdom Wednesday and not gotten value. I've been able to make phenomenal connections, and I'm so excited about it that I know in 2 weeks I'm coming back.
Awesome.
I'm coming back because it's that fix that you can't get rid of. You see what I'm saying? Because like, hey, who is the next piece of the puzzle that God has aligned for me to connect with?
Yes.
And so whether that's for them to pour into me, for me to pour into them, for us to build, for us to connect, for me to be a great referral for them. Because I come in actually looking to bring value.
Yes.
How can I be a great referral to someone? Because if I can help serve them, I believe in the law of reciprocity.
Yes.
You can't sow good seed in good ground and reap anything other than a phenomenal harvest.
I love it. And this mic is hot. So anybody in the room who has a question, because he talked about legacy business, he talked about the importance of that insurance, but he also talked about impact. And the business that you do should also have a positive impact on the community that you're part of. Thank you, sister. You have a question?
Hello. I think that is so great because what we don't know is insurance is important. We all hear about the stars who have all this money and don't never have any insurance to leave to the family, which leaves families to fighting over their properties and everything. So what do you think is a great start to start at so that you can make sure that you have generational wealth?
Phenomenal question. You start at the point of what's possible for you. Because very often we make efforts to do what someone else is doing, and we're not sure where they are. So we'll sit down and we'll figure out based on what you say works for you, what you say is affordable for you, and we will customize plans just for you.
All right. We got to pull that mic up because I want to make everybody hear this. Any other questions?
Is this insurance that you can borrow from? Is it like you could put it into like something else and maybe borrow from it? Is it that type of insurance?
Yeah. So that's cash value insurance. Okay. We do have that, and so if you're in a place where that's something that matters to you, then we can sit down and show you how something like that could be beneficial to you. We do have terms as well. That's where you just get the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. If you've got multiple things that you want to protect, we've got annuities. We've got several options for you. But yeah, we do have the ones that you could borrow from and build equity.
I'm glad that you talked about the education and the customization that happens when someone gets to sit down with you. How do we reach you, brother? What's that cell phone or what's that email or what's that social media?
Absolutely, absolutely. So my cell number is 202-749-0643. That's Anthony Atwater. Uh, on Instagram, it's Mr. Legacy Builder 45. That's both Instagram and TikTok. On LinkedIn and Facebook, I'm under Anthony Atwater. And so excited to connect with you. Also, I'm fortunate enough, we do the largest financial literacy workshop in the DMV. So we're more than excited to welcome you out to our office, where you'll see over 30 different countries represented. You'll see people who look like you, who are winning. But you'll be able to come out, and we'll share that with you. We have one on this Friday that will be focused on the impact that's going on in our DMV area with the government employees being laid off, not having certainty about what's going to be happening. So we'll be especially servicing that community. You're more than welcome to come out to that, because it's not just for them, it's for anyone who wants to gain more financial literacy. It will be at our office. That's 3901 Calverton Boulevard. That's in the Beltsville, Maryland area, 20705. If you'll reach out to me, I will make certain to reserve a seat for you, because it is invite only, and I'll make sure I get a seat reserved for you.
The reason why we do this Business Wisdom Wednesday the way we do it is because we wanted to provide intimacy, we wanted to provide community, we want to provide a space where we elevate each other together, right? So that mic is hot. Anyone have any other questions? Okay, no. Okay, so now what I want to do is this, right? Because a lot of times people, when you say insurance, something twitches in them, right? How do we get people to understand that that's a process that a lot of communities utilize as a way of creating, again, generational wealth without the fear of, you know what, I'm going to lose something right now?
Absolutely. So several things we do. We always want to lead with the benefits.
Okay.
Because unfortunately in our community, we say life insurance, we think death insurance.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm going to die tomorrow. Or somebody's going to try to take me out. Unfortunately, we've been behind the 8 ball so much. Mm-hmm. We're always looking for what someone's trying to get out of us, as opposed to what can I build, what can I leave behind. And we don't know about the living benefits of life insurance. That's why it's called life insurance. Mm-hmm. There are living benefits. So we lead with the benefits. We got one of our carriers that gives scholarships, that contributes to nonprofits, that will contribute an additional 1% of the death benefit to the church. Like many different things that are out there. And so all we want to do is just have a conversation. Yep. And so let's talk about where you are. Where do you want your family to be? Yes. And like very few people, if you ask them the question, in 10 years from now, do you want your family to be in the same place, worse, or better? You'd be hard pressed to find somebody who didn't say they want them to be better.
And if you don't have a plan to get better, you just got a dream.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And dreams only happen when you're asleep.
Yes.
And so
wake up.
Yeah, we got to wake up if we want to get something done.
All right. So before we land this plane, I want to make sure anyone in the room has a question. The brother is here, because each business is an opportunity for you to not only grow and have wealth, but it's also an opportunity to be a pathway for others to do the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
So what words of encouragement would you share to maybe that thing, that linchpin that is needed to get other people going in their dream path also, with their eyes wide open?
Absolutely. First of all, understand your why. Understand your why. Because as I mentioned before, when the why is strong enough, the how won't matter. If you said, okay, if I was fortunate enough to live the next 10 years, what do I want those 10 years to say? What would I want the future self in 10 years to be saying to me now? would that future self be like, man, I'm glad you took a chance.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went and did that. I'm so happy you made a decision for us, not even knowing where we were going to be then.
Yeah.
And if you're a person, you got a family, like, what do you want your legacy to be? If you were writing your eulogy right now,
Right.
what would you want people to say about you?
Yeah.
What did you want that if there was a theme?
I got that. Come on.
If there was a theme
Yes.
for your life, what would you want that theme to be?
Yes.
What would you want that message to have been? What you want that epitaph to be? And so when we think about it like that, because so often we're so short-sighted because all we can see is today.
Yep. Got to get that car, got to get that whatever. But the reality is we got to get a plan to take care of us now, but also the legacy that's coming behind us.
Absolutely.
My brother, the name of your business again?
It's Legendary Fit Financial.
And for those people who are ready to sit down and have that one-on-one to schedule a plan for success, how do they reach you?
Absolutely. You can reach me on Instagram at Mr. Legacy 45. That's both Instagram and TikTok. On LinkedIn and Facebook is Anthony Atwater. You can give me a call, 202-749-0643. We're happy to connect with you, and we can sit down one-on-one. You can come out to one of our financial literacy workshops. We'll set aside a seat for you as well as a guest, because those of you who are reaching out from this, we'd love to extend, a +1, +2 for you and any of your guests you may have. Absolutely,
Yeah, no
Queen.
question. Great.
Is there a physical that you would have to take to get any type of insurance?
Great question.
Great question. So we do have some non-medical options. So we've got both medical and non-medical options. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Fantastic
So this is
question.
Wisdom Wednesday. Our networking, our podcast allows us to give this to you. You get a copy of this, right? But those of you in the room gets a chance to ask questions for anyone who sits in the seat. The goal is for you to be able to reach thousands of people worldwide. So wherever you put this on your platform, it's all yours. But before this brother leaves, and my sister, you got some people back there looking for some amazing salad. The goal is to elevate through communication
Absolutely.
of who we are and what we do so that the world can be connected to us. Thank you so much. All right, peace. Yes. So let's get our blend on. Let's get our salad on. And we get our next guest.